Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. And boxing, you find a way to win, you find a way to lose. And hey, if you're a guy like Dillian Whyte, who doesn't have the confidence to go into a rematch with Anthony Joshua and beat him as a man, fair and square, well, you're definitely going to find a way to lose. Anyway, Anthony Joshua and Dillian Whyte, the bout's canceled due to anti-doping fines. What a disappointment, man. I'm going to be honest with you. I was really anticipating seeing Anthony Joshua and Dillian Whyte mix it up and what some people are calling a grudge match, which personally I think that's a joke. But they call it a grudge match because they're still crediting Dillian Whyte for defeating Anthony Joshua as an amateur, which we all know that what happened in the amateur rankings, look, that stuff doesn't matter. But as a professional, Dillian Whyte did land a decent shot on Anthony Joshua. But at the end of the day, Anthony Joshua tranquilized him. All right? So let's stop taking it to the stupid. But right now we know there were some adverse analytical findings in Whyte's anti-doping test. I'm going to stop right there and just tell you right now that there's some people out there who are taking it to the stupid because they're saying Dillian Whyte was set up because Eddie Hearn didn't want to give Dillian Whyte the fight. As a result, they made sure that his tests were going to come back positive so that Matchroom can seek an alternative opponent. And now, as a result, boxing fans are eagerly awaiting the updates. Now, you tell me if that makes any sense. However, I will say that when it comes to the secret society, anything is plausible. Not so sure I buy in to that conspiracy theory. I do believe that obviously something went wrong and not really sure what went awry, but the bottom line is that long-awaited clash between Joshua and Whyte that was scheduled for August 12th, like next week, man. I mean, come on now, the damn test come back positive right a week before the fight. It's canceled? Look, man, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I don't know what to think about this. What I will say is we know when you got the Eddie Hearn connection, like Connor, the Hen, Ben, hey, whatever findings were unearthed, that stuff can be overturned. And then a person can be proven somehow like innocent instead of guilty, although they failed 2 tests. So I'm just going to say this, man. Whatever's happened with Dillian Whyte, the fact that him and Joshua the fight's off, it leaves me disappointed and it leaves other fans disappointed. But the Voluntary Anti-Doping Association, look, along with the Association of Boxing Commissions and the British Boxing Board of Control, hit up Matchroom and said, hey, look, we need to have an immediate investigation. Something doesn't pass the sniff test. So anyway, Anthony Joshua, who, some people don't realize this. Anthony Joshua only has 25 wins, 3 losses. He only had 28 fights. Some people think Anthony Joshua's had like 40 fights. Anthony Joshua's only had 28 fights. Okay? But he was trying to, he's trying to build off of his recent victory with Jermaine Franklin and also with the newfound skill set of discipline, patience, fundamentals, and just letting the fight come to him underneath Derrick James. He should have been able to do that against Dillian Whyte. But on the other hand, when you look at Dillian Whyte, he also got a win over Franklin. Some people think Dillian Whyte looked better against Franklin. But I'll tell you this. The records are pretty similar. Dillian Whyte has 29 wins and 3 losses, but if Joshua's going to come in there and make it a tickling contest, Dillian Whyte has the chance to land that big Megatron boom of a left hook. Because it doesn't matter if you like Dillian Whyte, if you don't. You got to give credit where credit's due, and Dillian Whyte can crack with that left hand. So now as Matchroom is looking to select an alternate opponent, right? It looks like no matter the opponent, the fight's still going to take place at London's O2 Arena. But they're trying to figure out who's going to be. Because look, the undercard had some good fights, man. It had Chisora against Gerald Washington, which Gerald Washington should tranquilize Chisora. What's his name? Malik Scott trains Gerald Washington. Campbell Hatton against Tom Ansel. And, Ricky Hatton's son Campbell Hatton is, moving up the ladder. Johnny Fisher versus Harry Armstrong. I don't know who that is. And then Philip Hergovic versus Dimson McKean, which Philip Hergovic should get an easy win. So bottom line is, they have a pretty good undercard. But unfortunately, man, the cancellation of the main event, Matchroom has to figure out. They have to figure out a good opponent a week before the fight. I'll tell you who's ready and willing is Andy Ruiz. But they ain't calling on no damn Andy Ruiz. I don't see why they just don't give Gerald Big Baby Miller an opportunity to fight. That's what I would like to see. But anyway, while the main event cancellation for a lot of people is undoubtedly disappointing. Look, I mean, the card still has some pretty interesting matchups. But we're going to see what Eddie Hearn and Matchroom and the whole team and, the secret society, we're going to see what they do and who they decide to bring on board to try to salvage the night, because they need to do that. Now, let me see if I can pull this up while we're talking. When you look right here, okay, let me make this a little bit smaller. This is the heavyweight division, okay? Anthony Joshua, he needs a big name, and he needs a big name as a last-minute replacement. I tell you what, Usyk's not available, Fury's not available, Wilder is available, but they're trying to plan up something in Saudi, so that would be a good fight, but they're not going to do it right now. Zhang is fighting Joyce. That would be a good fight. Andy Ruiz is available, but they're not going to put him in no damn Andy Ruiz. They already learned that lesson. Dillian Whyte, whatever, man, that dude is a disappointment. Joe Joyce, he's fighting Zhang. Hey, Luis Ortiz is available. I bet you Ortiz will take that fight for $3 million. Joseph Parker, who knows what he's doing? Hergovic is busy. But to me, take Luis Ortiz. Finally give Luis Ortiz his chance. I can't wait to see who they pick. But when you come down here and look at what's really available, I mean, Andrew Ruiz is a no-go. Frank Sanchez, I doubt they'll pick Frank Sanchez. We already know Deal Water, Jared Big Baby, the real Big Baby Anderson, Parker, Joe Joyce, Dubois, Otto Wallen. I know they ain't fighting him. Otto Wallen can bang. Then you come over here and look under the IBF column. Hergovic, Wilder, Joshua, Frank Sanchez, Joseph Parker, Andy Ruiz, Dillian Whyte, Otto Wallen. I mean, really, I think Luis Ortiz is a good fight. A WBC column, you see, because he can pick any damn body. I don't know, that Otto Wallen, Luis Ortiz sounding pretty good to me. People know who Luis Ortiz is. Some know who Otto Wallen is. Some know who Frank Sanchez is. But out of all these names, right, I think Luis Ortiz and Andy Ruiz, I mean, those are your go-to guys. But they're not going to put him back in there with Andy Ruiz. I don't give a damn what anybody says. They are not putting him in there with no damn Andy Ruiz. Andy Ruiz, man, he came over there and just totally ruined plans, didn't he? They're not putting him in there with that little chubby guy with the short arms, as Deontay Wilder would describe him. But what I will tell you is, you see old Mr. 33-3, Luis Ortiz, that's the guy they should put him in the ring with. And I tell you what, if he can do the business on Luis Ortiz, I'll tell you what, Anthony Joshua may be more than ready for Deontay Wilder. Just don't know what happened when Deontay Wilder hits him with the Alabama Slammer Hammer. Right hand. Boom. It'll be all over for Joshua. That being said, Dillian Whyte dropped the ball, says he's innocent. I don't know what to think, man. Just wait and see how things play out. Very, very unfortunate. I'm just being honest with you, man. I don't even know what to think anymore, because when I see these guys failing doping tests, and then I wonder if it's true. And then you see guys who aren't testing positive, who are actually on the pads and stuff like that. You know, I just really think you gotta be in deep with the secret society, or people on your team had to be in deep with the secret society to make sure they shield you from testing positive. But when you don't have that protection, like to me, Dillian Whyte, he no longer has any protection from Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn and Dillian Whyte have one of those kind of tumultuous relationships. And I just don't think Dillian Whyte is protected. So maybe he was always on it, maybe he wasn't. Maybe like the rumors are saying, hey, his sample was tampered with to make sure that he came back positive, so that Anthony Joshua didn't have to fight him because they felt that Dillian Whyte was too much of a threat, or that Eddie Hearn just didn't want to pay him. You know, there was a whole heap of issues with Dillian Whyte and Eddie Hearn and the contract, and Dillian Whyte having to go on whatever the talk show is over there, Talk Sport or whatever the hell it is over there in the UK. And it's just really unfortunate, man. But Dillian Whyte says he's completely innocent, and you know he's gonna have time to try to go through this circus of trying to prove that he's innocent, like he did before. Trial by media, man. It's just very crazy, man. He said he's done voluntary anti-doping at his own expense and been doing it for years. He just said he's shocked and devastated and frustrated. You know what I'm saying? And I'll tell you what, I'm shocked, devastated, and frustrated because I really think AJ versus Dillian Whyte would have been a very, very good matchup. That being said, y'all keep cool. Shout out to the veterans, all 7 continents. Let's see how this plays out. I have a feeling Anthony Joshua going to fight who Eddie Hearn really wants him to fight in an easy win. And then 2 months from now, we're going to find out that Dillian Whyte was innocent. All crap just to preclude Dillian Whyte from getting a decent payday against Anthony Joshua. That being said, y'all keep cool. Shout out to the veterans. 7 continents. Breeze.